Hello everyone, today we're making square number 31 of the 2025 sampler blanket. This stitch is called the Trinity Stitch. It's quite similar looking to the Marguerite or the Star Stitch, but apparently is not similar at all in its makeup. It's a nice, easy, single row repeat and works up pretty quickly too. All right, let's get going. To make the Trinity Stitch, we need our yarn. I'm using Stylecraft Special DK, which is an 8-ply, a corresponding hook, which is a 4mm. You'll need scissors, darning needle, and a tape measure or ruler to keep track of the width of our work. I'm using US terminology for this project, and you will need your chain to be in multiples of 2. So yarn over 2 fingers on your left hand, pull the loop up through, and you've got a movable slip knot. Yarning over, pull through the loop on your hook to make your chain. So you go off and make the amount of chains that you need, and I'll meet you back here soon. I have done 22 chains, and we are going to be working into the second chain from the hook. Looking at your chain, you'll see that the front looks like little V's and it's nice and flat. If you turn it over, you can see little bumps, and that's where I work into. You can choose whichever option you like. It's completely up to you. So going into the second chain from the hook, not including the loop that's on your hook, we're going to pop your hook in and make a single crochet. So yarn over, pull the loop through. Yarn over, pull through both loops on your hook. Now we are going to work back into this chain here where we just came from. We're going to pop our hook in and pull up a loop. So we're going to do 3 single crochets together. So that's 1. Now pop your hook into the next chain, pull up a loop. That's number 2. Pop your hook into the chain after that, and that is number 3. Once we've done that, we're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on your hook. Now we're going to do a chain, but we need to do it quite loosely. So yarn over, elevating that stitch a bit, and pull through. Now we're going to do the same thing again. So it's 3 single crochet together, working in this stitch that we just finished in, okay? So we don't automatically move on to the next stitch. Each time we're going to pick up as our first stitch, the stitch that was the last one from the previous cluster. Okay, so popping your hook in, pull up a loop, and that's 1. In the next stitch, pull up a loop, and that's 2. In the one after that, pulling up a loop, and that is number 3. You should have 4 loops on your hook. Yarning over, pulling through all 4 loops. Now extend your stitch a little bit, yarn over, and make a chain. Cluster number 3, we're starting off in the last chain that we used, popping your hook in, pulling up a loop. Now into the next chain, pop your hook in, pull up a loop, and into the next. Hook in, pulling up a loop. Then you've got 4 loops on your hook. Yarning over, pulling through all 4 loops. Now we're going to do a chain, but make it a little bit longer than usual. Yarning over, pulling through. Now we're going to continue on with this same stitch all the way, and then we repeat it on every row after that. So it's a 1 row repeat. Let's do another one, popping our hook into the last chain that we used, pulling up a loop. Into the next one, pull up a loop. Into the one after that, pulling up a loop until you've got 4 loops on your hook. Yarning over, pull through all 4 loops, extend that stitch a little, yarn over and chain. Another cluster, into that last chain, pulling up a loop. Into the next one, pulling up a loop. Into the one after that, pulling up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. Extend that stitch a little, yarn over and make a chain. Working the next cluster, starting in the last chain that we used. Pulling up a loop, oops. In the next one, pulling up a loop, and in the one after that, pulling up a loop. Yarn over, pull through all 4 loops. Extend that one a little, yarn over and make a chain. Into that last chain we used, pulling up a loop. Into the next chain, pull up a loop. And the one after that, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through all 4. Extend that stitch a little bit, yarn over and make a chain. Work your way to the end and I'll meet you there. Here we are at the end of our row, doing our last cluster into that chain, the last one we used, pulling up a loop. Next chain, pulling up a loop, and the very last chain, pulling up a loop. Yarn over, pull through all 4 loops. Now instead of making a chain here, what we do is we go over to that very last chain and work another single crochet into there. Now we're going to do a chain 1, turn our work and do row number 2, which is a repeat of row number 1. We're going to pop our hook into the stitch below and do a single crochet. So pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we're going to work those 3 single crochet clusters again. So we're using this same stitch that we just used to pop your hook in and pull up a loop. That's 1. Pop your hook under the next stitch, pull up a loop, that's 2. And under the next, that's 3. Yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on your hook. Extending that stitch a little, yarn over and make a chain. Now your next cluster starts at the last stitch that you used. So pop your hook in, pull up a loop, into the next, pull up a loop, and into the next, pulling up a loop. Yarn over, pull through all 4, extend that stitch a little bit and make a chain. Again, working into that last stitch that you used. Pop your hook in, pull up a loop, into the next, pull up a loop, and into the next, pulling up a loop. Yarn over, pull through all 4. Extend that stitch, yarn over and make a chain. One more time we'll go into that last stitch that we used, pulling up a loop, into the next, pulling up a loop, and into the next, pulling up a loop. Yarn over, pull through all 4. Extend that stitch a little bit, yarn over and make a chain. Now I'm going to get you to go across making your clusters and I'll meet you back here near the end. Making our last cluster, pop your hook into that last stitch that was used, pull up a loop, into the next, pull up a loop, and into the last stitch, pulling up a loop. Yarn over, pull through all 4 loops, but don't do a chain. Pop your hook into your very last stitch below, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, which makes a single crochet. Chaining 1, which isn't included as a stitch, turn your work. You're going to start by doing a single crochet into the stitch below. Pop your hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Pop your hook back into that same stitch, pull up a loop. Into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and into the next, pulling up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 4, extending that stitch, yarn over and make a chain. Now you are well on your way. So I'm going to go off and do a few rows before I meet you back here. Here we are, and you can see the pattern has nicely formed, and you could mistake it for the Marguerite stitch. It looks quite like the star stitch. Apparently it's just done quite differently. So let's see where I'm up to. 11. I need one more row and I will be done. So I've done my single crochet at the end, chaining one and turning my work. Single crochet into that first stitch below. Now pulling up a loop through that first stitch below. Then under the next and under the next. Yarn over, pull through all 4. Extend my stitch and make a chain. Working into the last stitch that we worked with 1, 2 and 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through all 4, chain 1. 1, 2 and 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 4 and chain. 1, 2 and 3, pull through all 4 and a chain. 1, 2 and 3, pull through all 4 and a chain. Working on my very last stitch, making a chain there, pulling through 1, 2 and 3. Yarn over and pull through all 4. Now I'm going to make that single crochet at the end. And there we have our 12 by 12 Trinity stitch. Is another fabulous stitch that I haven't done before. There we go, yarn ends are darned in and we're all done for our square number 31. I will meet you back really soon for square number 32. See you then.